So far in 2024, I've been lucky enough to spend a lot of time with the Costco Kirkland signature driver. I've tested it to the nth degree. I've even put a better quality shaft in there. But today we're going to see just how good a quality it is, just how good a value it is, because I've been to my friends at Golf Clubs for Cash and I've bought this. This is exactly the same price. It is a Cobra Rad Speed driver, and it, for me, actually performed really well back in the day. This is like kind of 3 generations old now, and is it a forgotten driver? You can get one of these in exceptional condition for £199. So we're going to compare them both out here on the golf course. We're going to compare them in here in the studio to see just what we can get for distance, ball speed, spin rate, and of course forgiveness that everybody wants to see. Is the 199 Costco driver, that head cover hasn't got any easier to take off by the way, going to do it, or should we just go and spend £199 at Golf Clubs for Cash on a big name driver such as this Cobra Rad Speed? And as you can see, the quite stark contrast here, because the Cobra has multiple weight technologies, it has lots of carbon in there, whereas the Costco driver basically just features a back weighting to make it a little bit more forgiving. Guys, how much difference is there going to be in these drivers? Get in the comments below and let us know, and what else would you like to see us test the Costco Kirkland signature driver against. That's where we're going to start today. Also got my glove as well. So I think Costco, for me, you know, it's really, really good value for golf products, and I really can't argue with it. Whether or not this driver is going to go head to head against a Cobra Rad Speed from a couple of years ago, I'm not sure. But one thing I can tell you is the Costco driver does look nice and simple, and I'm a big fan of it. So without any further ado, both these clubs are 10.5 lofted down with their adjustability to 9.5. And straight away, that's a solid start from the Costco driver. I keep getting tongue-tied with this, but that was probably one of the best drives I've hit with this driver with the stock shaft in there. I can't stress this enough. It was a better driver when I put a different shaft in there. It's got the same adjustment as a Mizuno driver. So if you do have one of these at home and you have a Mizuno shaft or a Mizuno adjustment, that could work for you. And that was a little bit out the toe. And I've said this quite often as well, the high toe here for me is certainly the sweet spot with this Kirkland driver. Let's go one more. We're going to hit a couple with each off a couple of tees here, and then we're going to test them in the side, because how important is the difference out here compared to the difference in the studio for ball speed, spin rate, smash factor, and everything you want to know? Can we have the same again? It would be nice. Again, a little bit out the toe, slightly lower ball flight that time. That's up the left side, and I think that is just going to be in the rough, unfortunately. Let's jump into the Cobra now for the same price, £199. And if we have a look at, first of all, this lovely new bag I've got by Ojo, by the way. You're not going to lose me this year, are we, with that? But we look at the differences on top. Little Ridgeback technology on the Cobra, a little bit more tech going on, as you can see. And the one thing I really like about this is that face. That face is absolutely gorgeous. It is, of course, the CNC milled face. You can see we've been testing it all over there as well. And the adjustable weighting. I could change this to a low spin driver if I wanted to, and that's a big difference. If you're going to get fitted for one of these clubs, or you're going to retrofit it, potentially this would help you more, because you can change the loft, you can change the center of gravity. There's not a lot you can't change with these clubs. So without any further ado, I'm really looking forward to testing this, because this was a driver, I think, from Cobra that went a little bit under the radar. Like, for me, the branding wasn't on point at this time. I think they thought these bright, vibrant colours were going to help, but realistically, I'm not sure how much they really did. So the head looks a lot more sporty and a lot more futuristic, if that makes sense. Sounds totally different. I think that one out of the screws, that's much more of a knuckleball. I think that feels like it's gone a long way. That feels like it's gone a long way further than the Costco driver did. And there's a lot more technology on here. I'll talk you through this on the next tee, but you can see lots of radial weighting here, lots of movable weighting, lots of carbon thin ply wrap as well. So realistically, what is the better deal? Would you go to Golf Clubs for Cash? Would you buy a second-hand driver like this? Or would you go to Costco, get your jacuzzi powder? Is that a thing? Jacuzzi powder. Would you get your jacuzzi powder, your barbecue, on screen now, woo! Best thing I've ever bought, and your golf clubs. Why not? That barbecue's unreal, by the way. Pit Boss. If you want to sponsor me, you can. That's the one. That's the one you want. Straight down there. Let's get down there and see where they've finished, because I think there might be a little bit more of a difference here than what I gave the Costco driver credit for with this shafting. And you see, for me guys, the big thing about this is there's so many golf clubs out there at the moment that you can buy and you can save a little bit of money on, especially if you delve into the second-hand market. And we've been desperately looking for a brand new driver that can contend with that. The reason why I've put the Costco shaft back in there is because that's how the club comes. There's no option to try and upgrade that shaft. And if there was, you'd have to go and buy it separately for probably another 50, 60, maybe even 70 pounds. So it would start to take it into a much higher bracket, and that's where the drivers, I think, would massively outperform it. Hopefully we've found two drivers here that might potentially sit side by side with performance, but I'll tell you a little story. We've already been in the studio with these clubs and the results are rather remarkable. You can see lots of balls in this fairway, two up the left and two just up the middle, so some very similar drives there, but looking at it, the Cobra's put at least 5 to 10 yards on the Costco driver there to start off with. So very interesting. Let's hit a couple more down the par 5 and let's see which driver is really the best value. Because value is value, but cheap is cheap. And this for me is where I find testing golf clubs both indoor and outdoor very, very interesting, because yes, it's important to gauge the ball speed, it's important to gauge just what kind of distance you can get on your good shots, also what kind of distance you can get on your bad shots as well. Out here on the golf course more so, you start to see a little bit more of, right, where would the ball finish, how's that going to put me for my attempt at a birdie or a par, depending how hard the hole is, and just what am I feeling about these drivers? Does it give me a sense of confidence? Does it feel good? Does it sound good? And how do I feel about having these drives in the bag? I keep saying the word feel because feel's so important for me when it comes to golf clubs. Feel, sound, all that kind of good stuff and all the feedback you do want. So I'll go Cobra first this time because we actually went Costco first last time. Bobby's laughing at me, I don't know why. Why are you laughing? Yeah, give him some. Look at that. Oh, I thought he'd gone then. I thought he'd gone over, but right. Ideally here, a little draw turning over off the bunker. A very difficult shot to get. I feel like I can probably get a draw with the Cobra out the middle, but to get it drawing with the Costco, I might need to get it a little bit out the toe. So just down to the head shape more than anything there. Personal feelings. Look at that, Bobby. We called it, didn't we? And that wasn't even the best strike, but that is position A for what we want. And the Cobra actually feels quite good. I remember testing this a couple of years ago and being a little bit unenamored by it, just not entirely sure what Cobra were trying to achieve. And since then they have gone away from this. They've actually gone to the all black dark speed now, haven't they? I think that's probably because this just didn't work. You can get so many deals on these at places like Golf Clubs for Cash or eBay or Facebook Marketplace, but that doesn't mean to say they were a bad driver. It's almost like the hidden gem of second-hand drivers, which I feel like I'm in a good position to come across because I've tested so many. Can we hit the same again? Rob, look at that. I'm so glad you're here to see this because they're two unbelievable drives, aren't they? So they're pretty much bang smack down the fairway. I dare say we could even try and get on this par 5 in 2 with those. Can we get there with the Costco and can we keep it in play? Because more importantly, if I start hitting it out of bounds or in the trees on the right, not only is it costing me distance, but it's costing me shots and golf balls. So it's a false economy, the cheap driver, because I'm spending it in urethane. Now when it comes to shelf appeal with these two drivers, guys, get in the comments below, which one would you go for? Because looking at them both here, you can tell there's so much visible technology on the Cobra. And again, these are both costing £199. This is brand new. Obviously the Cobra is a second-hand version. This does look more forgiving though, so it depends entirely what you're after. And I'm going to say how much you're willing to spend, but I suppose where you shop, because you need a Costco membership to be able to buy them, and they're not even that easy to get at the moment because they're generally out of stock. Whether or not that's people thinking they're better than what they are, or whether or not it's just it does look good. It does look good down at the ball. I don't know if you can edit this in, Rob, but just a cat amongst some pigeons. That didn't feel centered either. That felt like really It felt forgiving, which I think is what the Costco driver is all about. I didn't expect that to go so well. And I've gotten away with that, but that's probably going to be one of the longer ones. I'm really excited to get down there and see where they've finished, because that felt like a better swing with the Costco. Let's jump in the studio, let's see exactly what the numbers are saying and what dispersion's saying. Then we can have a one-shot wins all. I think that's how I mean. Yeah? One shot. The winner takes it. No. So we'll kick things off with the rad speed, then we're going to go Costco, and we're going to see exactly which one's going to do it for us. Guys, what's more important? Do you reckon in here numbers-wise is more important, or out there on the golf course where it truly counts? As you'll see, we do have the standard shaft that Costco do offer in this, because that is only fair. If we were going to start putting upcharge shafts in this, it wouldn't really be right, because we'd have to put an upcharge shaft in the Cobra as well, because that's how much they do cost as they arrive. So we'll kick things off with the Cobra, and let's see exactly what we need to reset all this data, Bobby, don't we? We can't have old data on there. So I forgot how good this looked, you know. Like at the time, I think people didn't really appreciate what it was, but loads of technology in it. Both of them are 10.5 lofted down to 9.5, so very, very similar. I'll tell you what, Bobby, as we start, it sounded horrendous, but that's a 270 carry, it's a 288 total, 162 ball and 2000 spin. You know, when we start to think about how much drivers cost nowadays, and we start to think, right, I mean, that for a ball fly, what I've just hit, is frightening. It's frightening. That's further. That's going to 300, that, 293, 161. I mean, we have spoken outside, of course, about the tech that's in this club. Did Cobra just have it right? Was the marketing wrong? Was the name wrong? I'm a big believer when we release golf clubs like this, the branding, the name, the colour, it's almost as important as the technology that's in it, as how it performs. Hear me out here, because if the branding isn't right, no one tries it. And if no one tries it, it could be the best driver in the world, the worst driver in the world, but it doesn't matter. Because if no one's trying it, no one's buying it. There's a saying there, Bobby, isn't there? Be a bit more vocal, Bobby, come on. Help me out here, bro. Have you seen me hit drivers this well recently? No, I haven't. They're consistently up there at like a 270 carry, 290 total. Ball speeds are all above 160. That's a 161.7. Spinning nice and low. The Costco is going to have some work cut out. And that's even better. Is a 300 on the cards today. Fading nicely. 270 carry, 290 total, 2000 ball speed, 162 ball. And we've got the movable weights in here as well. We could move them around if we want, but I'm really happy with that. Let's go Costco and let's see if we can match it. Looking down, I actually prefer the Costco, you know. I probably discussed this outside, but this was so much better though with the Mizuno shaft. That sounded better though, didn't it? Where's that going? Go on, go a little bit more. 260, a little bit short. 280 total. The strike felt good. 158 ball, 2,500 spin. If I'm being hypercritical, maybe a touch toey, but I don't think that's the case, to be honest. No, that's the one with this driver that really irks me. Because yeah, I've struck it bad, but it's just gone like, I mean, it's 161 ball still, but the spin was up and it just goes up, doesn't it, Bobby? We're not allowed to swear anymore because Bobby's mum now watches the videos, so. You can swear, Bobby, just not me. Oh, wow. Now, am I chasing it now? Let's just tone it down a bit. Tone it down, because we're swinging well. Dispersion's all over the gaff now, though, isn't it, compared to the... Yeah, why not? Is that not right? How can you go from hitting it so accurately to this? If I'm spending my money based on in here, this shaft feels all over the place compared to the Motor shaft that's in the Cobra. and that's as good as I've got. That's a good one. Is it up there with it? It's just short of it, isn't it, realistically? A couple of yards. 160 ball, so again, when I get that really well, the spin's good, but the ball speed's a couple of miles an hour down. For the same price, there's no arguments here. But if you're going to go and spend £199, I think I'd definitely be looking at Golf Plus for cash for the Cobra. So for me, I think this is one of the tightest driving holes you will ever see, and there's actually a hazard down there as well where it tightens up. So yes, it's important to hit a long drive down here, but accuracy is also vital. Let's go Costco first this time, and let's see if we can first of all keep it in play, because one chance and one chance only does put a little bit more pressure under you. I think when you are trying a driver, be it second hand, be it brand new, be it fitted, try it once and then see what results you get, see what returns you get, and then you might get a little bit more of an idea how that driver performs to your golf swing under any pressure. Pressure is on, and there you go. That unfortunately is a Wilson deposited into the left-hand trees. I can blame the driver there. I'm not necessarily going to. That was just a bad golf swing, but as the shaft just kicked a little bit too early, has something happened there? Who knows? But now with the Cobra, certainly feel a little bit more at ease with this. Like potentially I can hit it harder. And you can see that's down the left side, fading back nicely into the fairway. So that is when I mean about a false economy buying these golf clubs. If it's going to cost you money in balls, it's going to cost you more money with people laughing at you like I've got there. See you tomorrow.